Hi everyone, thank you for watching my last video and thank you for all the messages, some from all the way from Scotland. Wow, hello. So this video is about, this 22Q Awareness Month video is about my time in school and my learning difficulties. So here it goes. I was going to have this post be all about my learning difficulties. After looking through a lot of photos, I decided to have it be more about my school days instead. Learning difficulties were a huge part of my school days, but they weren't the only things I experienced in school. Looking at the photos, I realized school was actually pretty much okay. I did have the regular bullies, and one in particular didn't like me based solely on the fact that I was, wait for it, different. I know. I had hearing aids, I needed adaptive physical education, speech therapy, and I was also taken out of class for special education math. I guess this made him uncomfortable. If that kid thought I was different then, I'd love to see his reaction to me today. I'm all sorts of silly, weird, and I love it. I also had friends, though, who had my back, and looking back, I was pretty darn lucky. I started kindergarten in Mississippi. As I said in my speech and hearing post, I started preschool at age 2 to help with language delay. I went to St. James Episcopal School in Greenville, Mississippi. Mississippi didn't have public kindergarten at the time. It didn't have public kindergarten until 1986, and it was the last state in the union to approve it. The start age for kindergarten in Mississippi was later than in California. We moved back to California halfway during kindergarten, and I was older than my classmates here in California. I continued to have speech therapy while we lived in near Los Angeles for a year. I loved kindergarten. Despite my hearing and speech delay, my kindergarten teacher told my mom that music was my favorite part of the day. I loved it more than anything, which is true to this day. By first grade, we finally moved back home here to Northern California. My first grade teacher, Mrs. Singh, was amazing. I remember we had a circle time about hearing aids. I was never, not once, teased about my hearing aids all through elementary school. That teasing didn't happen until junior high because, well, junior high. First grade went well. In second grade, first my parents and then my teacher noticed I was having trouble with math. I was already in speech therapy, but I got referred to the resource specialist and I got evaluated and qualified for services. When I had the testing done, it showed I had delays in visual motor integration, gross fine motor skills, and math. All that on top of the speech delay and hearing loss. If you would like to know more about my hearing loss and speech delay, take a look at my previous post. I was pulled out of class for speech therapy, math, and adaptive PE from first grade till the end of 6th grade. I'm thankful for those services. I know that there are parents out there fighting for the schools to get those services. Keep fighting. All that being said, elementary school was pretty good. Yes, the two bullies were there. Yes, I did cry a lot, so much so that I would beg to stay home from school. I survived and became stronger for it. I have no hate for those kids, for those bullies, and who knows what was going on in their own home. And in fact, they helped me become the 2022 Emily. Outside of school growing up, I had, just like all the other kids, I had sleepovers and birthday parties. I was in Brownies and Girl Scouts. I danced a couple of years and even played girls softball for one season. That doesn't sound like me. I spent a lot of time with my cousins growing up, a lot. 7th grade. Blech. Nobody liked 7th grade, right? 7th grade was rough. I hated it. Even though I didn't see my former bullies as much, there were new ones. There were also new friends to be made, though, including Becky, who is still one of my best friends to this day. I had one period of study skills for both years of junior high, but no adaptive physical education or speech therapy. The junior high that I went to thought it would be easier to put all the special ed students in one core class for history and English. They changed my schedule without telling my parents or the parents of the other students. It got resolved after a meeting in which my parents told the school that they had essentially put me in a full day of special education when my IEP said 1 period. The district listened and I didn't have to change my classes. I cannot stress enough how important advocating for your kids is and for yourself. My mom was a special education teacher and she knew the law, so that worked in my favor. While 7th grade was really rough, it's when I got teased about my hearing aids for the first time and not the last time. 8th grade was a lot of fun. It's when I met a lot of the friends I would have throughout high school and beyond. And I won't be sad if I never have to repeat junior high. High school was good as well, for the most part, that is. My Uncle Jimmy died 2 days before Christmas my sophomore year of high school, which I believe led to my earlier depression. I had a great group of friends, though. I was always confused because they were and are so smart, and most went to four-year colleges and graduated, and well, I did not. My teenage anxiety didn't trust that they really liked me, which I know now is ridiculous. I was in special ed study skills for the first 2 years of high school and then was dismissed, but still had accommodations like using a calculator in math for tests. I participated in choir 3 out of the 4 years in high school, which I loved. I also went to one of the winter formal dances as well, which to me was something I didn't think I'd ever get to do after years of being teased and called ugly a few times in my youth, so much so that I would believe it. Graduation was in June of 1997. We had a graduation trip to Disneyland and a local grad night after graduation. I went to both and had fun. After graduation, I went to the local community college. I qualified for services there, which are accommodations, not modifications at the college level. This meant I could use a quiet room to take a test, have extra time on tests, etc. Friends weren't a huge part of my life in my 20s. As I said, a lot of my friends went away to college, and there wasn't social media then that made it easy to keep in touch. I did have some friends who were in town, though, including Stacy. We continued to go to community colleges, volleyball games together, and the Stockton Ports minor league games, and just hang out. My 20s was when my mental health began to go south, but I passed all my classes. After a year at our local community college, I went away to another community college about 65 miles from home. My old enemy of anxiety got in the way, and I came back home to our local college. I was able to earn 3 certificates in early childhood education and was one class from an AA degree. But my math skills kept me from having a degree. No edits. I don't edit. For a long time, I was depressed about it. I would compare myself to my sister or to my friends or even my parents because all of them had college degree were college graduates except me. I once again felt like an outsider. At the time, it was hard for me to look at the positive side, including how far I had gotten in college. And I know at one point some might have thought college would not be an option for me, but yet it was, and I did it. I'm proud of those certificates. I would try to work in early childhood education for a few years, but it was very hard. My anxiety grew, and I felt like things were out of my control. Ever have an anxiety attack with 12 preschool kids that you barely know while they're in the room? In my next post, I will talk more about my mental health and show how much I went through to get to this present day, this current version of me that I love. Thanks for watching, and I hope that was helpful for some to know what could be possible for your kids. I know everybody's journey is different, but to have some kind of insight to what it could be like. And one of the first things a parent ever asked, the first time I ever met a parent of a child with 22q, they asked me if I graduated from high school. That was the first thing they asked me, and it stunned me because it never crossed my mind that that would be an issue. So that's why I'm telling these stories and sharing them. And if you want to message me and have questions, or you just want to share your story to another person that has gone through it and is now an adult, let me know, and advocate for you, for your child, and for your families. Advocating is one of my favorite things to do, and it's exhausting, but it's so rewarding too at the end of the day. So thank you for watching. Oh my God, 12 minutes. So I'm sorry this was long, but I thought it would be nice to do a video for those who didn't want to read a long caption or have trouble reading. And so I wanted everybody to feel included in this post. So have a great day, night, morning, whatever time zone you're in.